to the Metapod, the dynamic duo that revolves around the evolving meta. The podcast about the Pokemon trading card game is back at you with another episode. Sean, how does it feel to be on the podcast? First time, right?
First time caller, long time listener, Jake. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back.
How was Gen Con for all that saw on Twitter?
Gen Con was lovely. I had an amazing time. I hung with a lot of the card game that we don't name, the other Mon game.
I've been watching a lot of that card game though, to be honest.
It's a good card game.
I've been watching because they're having like regionals and they just had like regionals and stuff.
Yeah.
I was watching that.
I will say though, for all the listeners out there who've been who either follow or maybe don't, when you play a card game that isn't produced by a company that is as buttoned up as Pokemon, you're like you take for granted the little things like you don't have to restart your tournament after 2 rounds because the tournament pairing software stopped working.
Oh, okay. Not using Toms. Is Tom specific to Pokemon?
Yep. Tom is
I didn't know
Pokemon's one. But I mean, a lot of these companies have their own pairing software, like they make their own. But yeah, like Bandai, who makes the other card game, they have released their own app thing, and they're having some back end issues. And like they had a tournament where it took 2.5 hours to do 2 rounds, and then something got messed up somewhere, and they lost all of the pairing data, and they had to restart the whole tournament. And they had to change it to best of 1 instead of best of 3 because they didn't have enough time to. It's a mess, Jake.
Yeah, that sounds like something that I don't want to participate in. But you know what I do want to participate in, Sean? I want to participate in talking about what has been going on in the Pokemon trading card game, because Worlds is this week. The World Championships, the big kahuna that everybody has worked for except for us, because we just talk about it. We don't really. We're busy with work life, but we will get you all the information that you need to know, including if you're deciding whether or not you want to stay here for this podcast for the long haul. We'll give you a great review that someone left to maybe convince you. This is from the dude 5558, 5 stars, titled Great Podcast. Fun podcasts about the Pokemon TCG. Great for those who just want to hear about what is going on, but also great for those active in the community. Thank you guys so much for this podcast. And thank you, lovely listener, for the excellent review. Whether you want to give us 5 stars or 1 star, feel free to let us know how we're doing. Unless you're on YouTube and Spotify and you can't leave a review, you have to leave a rating or a comment or a like, which we super appreciate. But Sean,
Jake,
have you been seeing, did you listen? Last week's episode was like the product Pokemon podcast.
Okay.
Where I just talked about new products that we're releasing. But do you remember when we talked about way back in the day, the Ultra Premium Collection?
Oh, is this the Zacian and Zamazenta one, right?
Yes. Do you remember that product?
Oh, yeah, I bought one. And they had all the fancy dice counters in it. It was very nice. Mm-hmm. I bought it when it wasn't $200+. I just got it at a Target.
You just got it at a Target?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were selling them at Target. Well,
or something. I just got it somewhere like pretty normal for like $100.
If, Sean, you want another one of a different Pokemon, of a different era, I talked about last week the Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection. We talked about what was in it, the 3 etched promo cards that at this point last week, we didn't know what the Pokemon was in there. There's a playmat in there, card sleeves, metal coin, damage counters, condition markers, acrylic V-Star markers, 16 booster packs in the Sword and Shield series, player's guide, and a code card. And I theorized for a little bit with myself, as one does, what Pokemon it would be. But Sean, I didn't guess this one.
You didn't guess the most popular?
I literally, for those of you that are audio only and may not have seen it on screen, the Ultra Premium Collection mystery Pokemon is Charizard.
Big mystery.
Yeah, big. Wow, really should have just used my brain.
Now, Jake, what were your guesses last week?
I guess like a Hisuian Pokemon, I think. I remember at one point thinking, oh my god, what if it's Lilligant? And I don't know why, but I was like, what if it's Lilligan? I also thought for a little bit, but I think I took away this take that it would be like Shadow Rider and Ice Rider.
Oh, that would, yeah, I could see that. Because,
Yeah.
they did Zamazenta, Zacian as a side by
Yeah,
side.
and I was like, okay, kind of fits because they're like the box legendaries of the DLC, kind of. So I was like, maybe. And then I forgot that like Charizard's never gotten one. So next time there's a mystery, I'll probably just guess like, well, Pikachu was on Celebrations essentially. I don't even. Whew, I'm just terrible. But the three etched foil promo cards are going to be Charizard V, Charizard V Max, and Charizard V Star. The playmat is going to feature Gigantamax Charizard. The card sleeves and the metallic coin also are going to be Gigantamax Charizard. There's no pictures of the actual like cards, mat, stuff like that. So we don't actually know what that is going to look like. We don't know if it's going to be just like the card art of the Charizard, the Gigantamax Charizard, just plastered on there. You know, kind of how they did that with the supporters from Sun and Moon, the dual supporters. What are those called?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
oh my God, we're
tag
losing
team
it, Sean.
supporters, the tag
team
teams, yeah.
supporters, yes. How they just like copy and pasted those on.
Well, Jake, I mean, this is a big deal. For them to make a Charizard product like this, I can only imagine that they had a special card art ready for it. Because it would be weird if they didn't. So, I don't know. You know how Zacian and Zamazenta, they had the black and gold versions?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It would not surprise me if they're going to give the Charizard V, V Max, and V Star, they're going to keep the same art as what would be seen on the rainbow versions, but do it in a black and gold treatment.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they've done a black and gold version of Charizard. I know they did a promo Charizard for the Elite Trainer box in Champion's Path.
It did.
But that's pretty much it in terms of the... Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that would be kind of cool, actually.
And because
it's tempting,
and because this is a North America, well, not North America, Western audience, like non-Japanese product, it's simple enough for them to do simply a like color change, right? Because they know what the print is, so it's just like, okay, make it a black and white, and then just assign gold to the white color. And it's like they don't have to commission new artwork.
Easy,
right?
Clap
like,
your hands.
It's just that's all they do, right? I'm sure. But like, my point being is like they don't have to get artwork from Japan, which is usually like that's why you don't see special art cards typically outside of Japan, is because they do all the art. So
it will be releasing on October 28th, $120 retail. Yeah, I would assume that maybe you could order this on the Pokemon Center. You can find it at your maybe local Target if you're lucky.
Charizard,
but no. I mean, you'll have to stake it out, to be honest. But anyways,
Jake,
that.
Can I point one thing out though?
Yes.
There is one, like everything in here is super premium, except Jake.
What's wrong with an acrylic V-Star marker?
Why not make it metal like everything else in this box?
But I mean, like, so they have multiple versions of V-Star markers already. They got the little card that comes in the packs now, right? And now they have the acrylic one, and they have the acrylic one as well that comes in like, doesn't it come in the ETBs?
Yeah, but that's my point.
So like,
this is ultra premium. I want that metal. I want that nice.
You want your booster packs to be metal too, Sean?
Maybe.
Is that what you want? I would actually not mind
that would be cool.
For that, to be honest.
Bring back the Burger King cards. Anyways.
Yeah, bring those back, actually. But Sean, what is kind of cool, in my opinion, that's coming up?
What's that?
The second set of stacking tins. Now, if you do not remember, I don't even think we covered this on the podcast back in February. There was a set of stacking tins that featured Decidueye, Wishiwashi, and Electivire. Grass, water, and what is Electivire? Oh, lightning. Electric, lightning, whichever you want to call it. Anyways, fight me. There's a second set of stacking tins that are coming out featuring fighting Pokemon, fire Pokemon, and dark type Pokemon as well. The main Pokemon on these being Lycanroc for fighting, Charizard, of course, for fire, and then Dark being Guzzlord. So these are tins that come out $13 each. They are coming out on October 28th. I don't know how big they are, truthfully, because I've never seen these before I saw this article. I did not see them in February, but they come with 3 booster packs and a coin, and the tins are designed to stack on top of each other as well. So in my opinion, I think it's really cool because these are like a cool storage type thing. You know, like if you just have like bulk cards, you know, you can put those cards in there, or literally anything else, you know, all the dice that you get from ETBs or whatever, like you just put them in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if they fit a pack, then they'll definitely fit cards, probably sleeved.
And you know that in these boxes, there's a bunch of plastic too, you know, like, cause like all their stuff has a bunch of plastic in it. So, but I don't think these are like 3 feet tall or anything like that. Like these are probably like what, a foot and a half looking at the picture.
Yeah, probably
like a foot.
Not too big.
Yeah, so not very big, but they can hold some things, and who knows, maybe you can make it your makeshift deck box too.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I would like to roll up to an event and my opponent pulls out a Guzzlord. I will say though, the Charizard, I don't. This is the Charizard podcast, the Pokemon podcast that talks about Charizard all the time. The Charizard art on the tin is actually really cool, in my opinion. I think it's a cool looking art. It's not like a copy and paste type art. Like, I feel like this Guzzlord is a little bit more copy and paste. But, like, all the other Pokemon that you see on there are, like, I don't know if they're original designs or they're original, like, arts of it. But they're ones that you don't see like often at all, and like I don't recognize them seeing them prior, so like it's cool.
Yeah, I mean these are all right.
But those are a little bit more niche in terms of the collecting community. What you may want to collect though is the cool Pokemon TCG Trick or Trade booster packs that are coming out here soon. Boo as in capital B, capital O, capital O. Derb. They're spotted early coming out at Kohl's and Kroger, so go check yours in your local area. Now that I know it's at Kroger, I'm going to go check the one right by my house. But this is a set, I think we talked about this previously on the podcast. Yeah, just a little bit in terms of theories of what it actually is. And so it includes 30 different cards. All of these cards are reprints. However, they feature a special Pikachu pumpkin stamp in the corner of the artwork. So just like kind of pre-release promos, they have a little stamp on them, and they're cool. I would say they are interesting in the fact that they all kind of fit, right?
Yeah, like
there's no, in these 30 cards, there's no Torchic, you know, there's not a Squirtle. These are like ghost Pokemon or Pokemon related to spooky things. You've got Spinarak, you've got Duskull, Gengar, Mimikyu, a Cubone even. So if you know the lore of Cubone, there's no Marowak in this set, though.
No Marowak, just the lowly Cubone. I think maybe they had a Marowak.
Kind of makes me sad, actually.
They may have had a Marowak in, and then they were like, "Yo, guys, we need a Pikachu. Who are we kicking out? Who are we getting rid of?
Who are we kicking out? Who are we killing off?" As they say.
Cubone's evolved mother. That's who we're killing off.
So big sad if you know we're referencing the first generation of Pokemon games, but there are 10 of these cards are going to be hollow. That is all the ones that are usually rare in these sets. So pretty much all your evolved ones and Mewtwo as well, which Mewtwo, that might be the only one that's like out of place, I would say. Yeah. I didn't see the Mewtwo before, but looking at the hollow picture,
it's a little weird. Mewtwo's not really, I don't think of it, it's not really a spoopy Pokemon, you know?
I guess maybe you could, is there like a Halloween type lore thing that's like an amalgamation of things? Because Mewtwo's like a clone, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess Frankenstein could work because it's like man-made, you know? What was the dude that made Frankenstein?
Dr. Victor Frankenstein?
Dr. Vic and Frankenstein. Yeah. Sure.
And Frankenstein,
I've never.
The monster is called the monster. Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, well, the dude, Dr. Frankenstein, making the monster. So Mewtwo is, I mean, like Giovanni is basically Frankenstein, and Mewtwo is basically Giovanni's monster,
I buy it.
right?
I'd buy it. I'd buy it.
You know what? We're tying things in left and right around here
Yeah.
to make it make sense, but
I will say, Jake, of these cards, like 'cause as Jake was saying, they're all spoopy, but most of them are not playable. The Pikachu is going to be collectible. Maybe if you want to collect the whole set, great. But I want to see one of these. I wonder if Pumpkaboo will be allowed at Worlds. I don't believe so.
So I don't know. I remember, holy cow, I'm going to actually go look for it. There was a tweet the other day, and I feel like I don't know if I shared it with you, Sean.
I think I saw Will post, reposted it and stuff like that too, right?
Yes, I don't want to say exactly what it was until I find it. But Sean, if you had to look at the different cards in this, which card are you taking? Which one are you really wanting to get out of your Pokemon booster pack?
I mean, obviously Pikachu, just because it's like, but outside of Pikachu, that Gengar, I like that Gengar.
I will agree, like the Gengar actually looks really, really good. It's one of my more favorite arts in the last couple sets in terms of not like an ultra rare type of thing. So big shout outs to the Gengar, I will say. And then, you know, also you got the Poltegeist down there.
Yep.
You, if you want to play Mad Party one final time, not because it's a good deck, but because you like to have fun when you play the game, then boom. There it is right there. You can bling out in a different way with your Mad Party deck, Sean.
If somehow you've decided to rock a max rarity budget deck, getting that Sinistea and getting this Poltegeist is the way to do it, you know?
I don't think that would be max rarity though.
Is there
I guess these are limited edition time, so I guess it could be considered max rarity. They'll be the most rare.
Is there a character art of the Poltegeist? I don't know. Maybe.
There's a shiny version of the Poltegeist that came out in the one shiny set that I can't remember the name of.
Yeah, Shining Fates in the pin collection, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, you could mix it up if you really wanted, but
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But Sean, what I will say is if you like free stuff, you like collecting free stuff, let me tell you that the special digital distributions are coming for the World Championships. Now, we'll go over all of them. Really, this relates to both the trading card game and the video game. But if you do not know, in the past, during the live streams, Pokemon has given things out. I believe we talked about when they gave out the research, the Marnie, the boss, the full arts of those. Do you remember those, Sean?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, they like gave them out at some time during the championships. We don't know what time they come out though, because they want you to watch the entire time, right? But we do know that it will work both in Pokemon Trading Card Game Online and TCG Live for the card that we're gonna get on the TCG sign. And let me tell you, Sean, it's a good looking card. It is a new well, not really a new stadium, a new version of a stadium that is very popular in the Pokemon trading card game. Gold Path to the Peak.
Yep.
Sean, how do you feel about this card coming out?
I mean, I think it's super awesome that they're doing a gold card as the free giveaway for Worlds. Like that's cool. Like if you play the online version of the game, like that's about as good as you're gonna get in terms of like freebies.
I feel like also they've done a really good job at like giving out good cards for these events, you know, and they're giving out good rarities for the cards. Like it makes me really happy that they were giving out full art versions of those supporters and not rainbow rare versions, because I think we all know on this podcast how I feel about rainbow supporters in comparison to regular supporters. And so giving out a gold version of a stadium, arguably the most popular stadium in the format right now, at least a very good one at that, you know, you're going to get your money's worth, quote unquote, because you're not actually paying anything, but you will be able to get something worth your time, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I mean, and look, if you cannot stick around for the whole live stream because, people got lives, the way they did them before was usually there's a code and there's like the first X thousand people that type in the code. And usually it's lasted for quite a while. So just keep your ears and eyes peeled to,
I will say,
Twitter.
I will say also, I don't believe the ones that ran out for the previous live streams where they gave out the supporter, I don't believe those like really ended.
Yeah.
Or at least like you could enter the code a couple days later. Some people did, and it worked. But if you want the code for yourself, but maybe you can't tune in, don't worry. Sean and I will have you covered over on our Twitter at MetapodTCG. We'll make sure to retweet it because they'll, like, Sarah B will post about it, and some other people will post about it to try to gain clout, including potentially myself on my personal. So we'll make sure to retweet it. So all you got to do is check our Twitter to be able to see when those special distributions come out for the gold path to the peak, at least. There is also a video game giveaway that are there. A level 50 Victini being a mythical Pokemon that is only given out during distributions. So, well, that and like a Pokemon Go event. But not a lot of people have Victini. It's going to have V-Creed, Zen Headbutt, Workup, Flame Charge holding a Starf Berry. You probably don't really care too much about that, but people attending Worlds can download a Sinistea as well. And then with the trading card game, they'll get a promo for participating. I think it's the Championship Festival promo. It's a promo they've done in past years.
Yeah.
Not the Tropical Beach.
No, but I think that is why. So the rule that Jake and I were talking about where like, I don't know if you can use alternate versions of cards, the reason that is that they had to make that rule is because that card that's being given out does have a previous version. So like they had to like make sure that people weren't trying to use the Champions Festival card in their deck, I guess.
Yeah, I can't find the tweet for the life of me on that.
It doesn't matter. Point being, if you're going to Worlds and you somehow manage to acquire that Pumpkaboo, you probably shouldn't play it. Don't risk it.
It hasn't even come out yet. It's supposed to come out in
It's apparently arrived at some Kohl's and Kroger's early. That's how we got the pictures. Yeah,
because they don't care enough to like know what day it's supposed to release. Like they don't care that much. Nobody's gonna harm them really. But also on Poke Beach, there is the streaming schedule where you can see exactly when the trading card game events are going to happen. They're also going to be streaming Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite as well. And I like Worlds. I've watched Worlds in the past. I've super enjoyed watching the World Championships. It's always a great production. They've announced the casters as well. Some excellent, really, really cool casters that we know and love. So I highly encourage, if you've got time to tune in, check it out. I mean, opening ceremonies start on Thursday, August 18th at 9 a.m., I believe, Eastern time. And then, like, Pokemon Unite ends at, like, 6 p.m. So it's literally, like, all day, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, if you got nothing better to do on your Thursdays and Fridays, or you work a job where you can pull open a tab on the side, Thursday all day.
Actually, let me retract that statement. So they actually have their own streams, I believe.
Yep, they do.
Right? They're doing it on their own stream. So it'll be on the official Pokemon TCG stream. It still starts at 9 a.m. with the opening ceremony. But, like, the TCG is the latest to end out of all of them. Like, day one, August 18th on Thursday, ends at, like, 9 p.m. Sean, literally 12 hours of Pokemon Trading Card Game World Championships high quality level. Then Friday, 9:15. You can go even later, Sean. But then Saturday, you have 7 p.m. of the top cut. And then Sunday, which is Championship Day, they will have on the main channel, I believe they have the main channel for the championship matches. And they'll do First thing in the morning at 9 a.m., they'll do the TCG. They'll do juniors finals, seniors finals, and masters finals. And in the Poke Beach article, you can see all the streaming links as well. So make sure to go follow those if you do want to watch.
Indeed.
And also, if you're at the Pokemon TCG World Championships, tell us on Twitter or wherever in the YouTube comments. Tell us, let us know, because we like to know when you're doing things Pokemon related, how you're doing, post pictures with your friends, all of that stuff. But Sean, we wouldn't be a Pokemon TCG podcast releasing an episode the week of the World Championships if we didn't make a fool of ourselves and make some predictions. So Sean, I will start off with the heavy hitters first for you.
Okay.
What do you think is going to win the World Championships?
I think it's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Oh lordy.
I told you, heavy hitter.
You know, this is a tough one. I'm like looking at recent events too, just to get a sense of what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I want to look at one more event, just to see what I'm looking at here.
Dun, dun,
I don't know.
Dun,
Okay,
dun,
something with
dun,
Arceus.
Dun, dun. Something with Arceus. Final answer, Sean.
I'll cover half the meta with that one, Jake. That's the biggest cop-out.
Arceus and Teleon, any variant,
I
baby.
mean, it might. Arceus and Teleon is not a bad pick.
You're not wrong. It is like a good deck, right? And so I do think there is some validity. I just think it's funny that you picked it. You could be like Mellow Magikarp and play at your locals like the day before you leave for the World Championships, play Arceus, Inteleon, Charizard, thinking that it's the play for Worlds, and then go 0-2 drop at your locals and immediately rethink everything. I have been loving Mellow's series of tweets online, and I just love it. So, Sean, I will tell you what is winning the World Championships. I have studied. I have done extensive research here for the Metapod podcast to make the prediction that the Rebel Clash Metapod is going to win the World Champion. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I made that tweet the other day. So anyways, this is the real take. I actually think that Mewtwo v Union Miltank will win the World Championships.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
Stall, deck,
I think it's going to win. I have this gut feeling because I don't think Palkia is going to win.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
think Arceus and Teleon's going to win. I think they're both going to be good decks.
Yeah, but I would say in terms of like disappointment, because that's another thing we're going to do, like flop. I actually think that Palkia will do worse than people expect.
I do too, because I think Palkia has like the biggest target on its back in terms of the meta, that and Arceus in Teleon. But I think Palkia will do the worst. But I think Mewtwo v Union Miltank's gonna win because I feel like, I don't know, I've listened around and things like that, and there's not great things, right, to be able to counter. Of course, there are some things to counter. Mewtwo v Union and Miltank, but one, it's a super hard matchup, right? If you test it, you have to test it against someone that knows exactly what they're doing. Not everybody can test against Sander on a daily basis, right? So I don't know what Sander's going to bring. I don't know if he's going to bring that, but he's my pick. He's my pick, especially if he plays that deck. I just going to put that out there, Sean. But so we talked about our flops. You know, we said that, Palkia, we both agreed, is kind of the one that's going to show up, but it's not going to show up and do well. But Sean, that leaves one more category left. What do you think is the sleeper pick? What do you think is the Cinderella story that we will talk about that nobody prepared for the World Championships in 2022?
I don't know about nobody prepared for, but there is a deck that I am not seeing at those top tables in the online tournaments, at least in the last few days. I think Dialga. I said it several weeks ago with Frank.
Yeah.
I think Dialga could be one of those sleepers. I think that the majority of people who play Dialga will not high roll their way into those wins. But A deck that can take extra turns, you just need somebody with a hot hand, right?
I do agree that Dialga, I agree with Frank. I think it's a good pick. I think that you can get really, really hot running with that deck. And not to say that the deck is all about getting lucky, but like, you do have to have a little bit of luck in the Pokemon trading card game in general. That's just general facts. Yeah. But like, the amount that you can do when you have like a decent starting hand is absurd. Yeah. You can go so fast with that deck, so fast that your opponent like just can't catch up. So that's why I think it's dangerous as well. But it's not my sleeper pick, Sean.
Interesting. What's your sleeper pick?
I'm going to pick Chansey V as my sleeper pick. Nobody's really talked about it. I heard it in a little conversation the other day on a stream for a couple minutes. It doesn't actually seem like a bad pick. It's tanky, right? There are options with it with like Miltank as well. You know, people not really respecting Miltank, and I don't blame them, to be honest, because I wouldn't respect it either if I was preparing for the World Championships. And it can hit huge damage along with some healing as well, Sean.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. But like, I mean, Jake, look, it maybe. But I'm like, you know what I see on Chansey? I'm like, it's a beefy boy, but you know it's a beefy boy that has a fighting weakness. You know what other?
And?
Do you know what other card that makes up half the meta also has a fighting weakness?
Yeah, but like Chansey can give itself like 300 plus HP, can it?
I mean, well,
or it can get really close.
I mean, it's 250. You can put a cape of toughness to get to 300.
Yeah, so maybe it can't get to the over 300, but I still believe it is, Sean.
I mean, maybe.
Just have all the other decks beat the Urshifu, right? That's all you got to do. I mean, that's all you got to do.
That's side note. That's kind of an interesting sleeper pick too. Is Rapid Strike Urshifu?
I do know that. I think it was like Alex Szymanski won the Player Cup 2 Invitational. Or it was it was some sort of big online event during the pandemic, and he won it with Urshifu.
Yeah.
So is he going to bring back the Urshifu is the real question and play it? I don't know. We'll see.
Also, Limitless Robin, right?
Yeah, he won that regional not too long ago.
So I mean, look, it's one of those decks that like it does this constantly.
It fluctuates,
right? And
it's up and down, up and down.
And like Mew VMAX is kind of nowhere to be seen comparatively.
Mew VMAX is like, okay, this is what Mew VMAX is in the meta right now. If you want a day 2, you play Mew VMAX. If you want a top 8, you play something else.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what Mew VMAX is right now in the meta. It is a good, safe pick if you want to, you know, maybe your goal is to just make day 2, right? Like my goal in my first regional or worlds or whatever would be to just make day 2. You know, if I made day 2, my goal then on would be like to go to or to the top 8, you know, the top cut, top 64, top 32, whatever. But like at the end of the day, like day 2 ain't that bad.
No. It's a weird one though, because again, I think Worlds is kind of a different beast because you go to any regional and it's like, you know that there's going to be a wide variance of skill level and understanding of the meta. But when you go to Worlds, everybody there had to qualify. So
everybody's really good. You're not going to get little Jimmy that just signed, or not little Jimmy, big daddy Jimmy that signed up because little Timmy joined the juniors, and so he's like, okay, I'll play in the Masters, which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Sure. But you don't get that type of player, right? Where it's like you're not going to get them free dubs.
Yeah, you're gonna get much. It's literally the highest level of competition in the Pokemon trading card game. So obviously, it's going to have the highest quality opponents, things like that. So
and that's where I'm like, Mew VMAX. People have had a long time to play against that deck. Now, sometimes the deck is an absolute train, and you can't do anything about it. But give people enough time and experience playing against your deck, and they'll figure it out. They'll figure out ways to beat it.
I will say Mew VMAX, if you are looking for a deck that you're comfortable with and that you're confident with, I think Mew VMAX is kind of a safe pick because like the deck hasn't really changed since it's come out in Fusion Strike. You've probably been playing the same Mew VMAX deck minus 1 or 2 tech cards, for the majority of its time. So therefore, you're probably pretty good at playing Mew VMAX, right? Better than somebody else who's never played Mew VMAX before. So that's another reason why I think Mew VMAX is a good pick for some people, like a safe pick, because most of the people still playing Mew VMAX right now are the people that have been playing it forever and have played it to a lot of events. So that's my justification on Mew VMAX.
I will say, if Mew somehow wins at all, somebody just has the hottest hand ever, then we'll have 2 world champions in a row that have Mew cards as the headliner.
That's true. Will Henry Brand retake not retake because it never left him.
That's true.
Just
it's been 3 years. It's fine.
Will he continue his glory as the top competitor in the Masters division, or will he fall to another competitor? Sean, do you think Henry Brand wins?
No. I mean, nothing against Henry. I think he's great, but I think, look, do you think
he makes top 8?
No.
Because I think if you win Worlds one year and you top 8 the next year, I think that's
impressive.
pretty good. Yeah, that's really, really good. You may not have won, but you did really solid, my man.
Oh, no. I mean, like, that would be that's an insane. That's why I'm like, if you say, do you think somebody will? And I'm like, top 8, it just, the level of play so high, and it really comes down to like, hey, what did the meta shake up to be during Top Cut? Because like, if you just made the right pick, if you read the meta correctly, then you might have a better time of it. But not everybody can read the meta correctly. That's literally the definition of like, if everybody reads it correctly, then everybody is wrong. So.
Wow, we just like broke the fourth wall here on this podcast. The only podcast that breaks the fourth wall and gives you an enjoyable listen as well. Sean, do we have anything else to talk about today?
No, nothing else. But next week, Jake, we are going to be bringing you an episode after Worlds. Jake and I will find time to record it, which will be weird for me because I'm going to be in Korea.
Oh, wait, are you going to be... We talked about this. This was a long time ago that we talked about this. So you're going to be recording in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's really cool. We'll talk about it later. But
Figure
anyways, thank you so much for listening to the MetaPod Podcast, Pokemon podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. Let us know if you think you're gonna win Worlds. I won't hold it to you, but have a great rest of the day.